The rich tapestry of Black arts in Pittsburgh has been woven through generations with threads of resilience, creativity, and passion.
Pittsburgh has so much to offer, not only just our music history. You know, we all have that music history. We have that stage history with August Wilson. But there are so many artists who were out there doing the work.
We are celebrating the legacy of Black creatives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and their indelible mark on the city's cultural landscape. Stay tuned as we celebrate their stories and honor the rich history of Black arts in Pittsburgh. Dating back to the early 20th century, Pittsburgh's vibrant African-American community has nurtured a thriving arts scene. The Hill District, once dubbed Little Harlem, became a hub for Black artists and writers. It was here that the likes of August Wilson, a prolific playwright, honed his craft, drawing inspiration from the streets and the people who called them home.
My name's Moses Shabaka Perkins. I'm from Pittsburgh, PA, and I'm a teaching artist and a West African drummer. I know somewhat, some of the art, as far as the legacy, because I was taught by my grandparents, my mother, about On the Hill, the Hurricane, the different artists that come through here, the Ahmad Jamal, people like that, Earl Gardner, many other names. So I think as long as we seek and find our history, from whoever is there and offers to give it, that we'll be fine.
My name's Lindsay McDaniel. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I've been dancing with Balon West African Dance Ensemble for going on 25 years.
I knew at 6 that dance was it for me. I felt it in my spirit that this was what I was put on this earth to do. The art scene in Pittsburgh, however, has definitely influenced that. There have been so many opportunities here for me to grow as an artist, and I'm very thankful to the Pittsburgh Foundation for giving me this opportunity to grow even more.
The overall arts community here in Pittsburgh is what led me to stay. For me, moving here directly from New York, the arts were so accessible, and the space, the fact that it didn't cost a lot to have space here, it's just easier living here. And then there's a nicely diverse arts community that I also found very supportive.
Really, we're trying to get back to our roots this year, so we've had a really hard transition with losing our founder. She's an ancestor, still mentoring us every day, all of those who studied with her. And I think one thing that I would say we almost took for granted is her connection to African artists in particular, herself being an African artist. The role that we play isn't just reclaiming African arts for Black people, but also helping to preserve these art forms, and the culture of African dance.
The city's musical heritage is equally impressive, with jazz legends like Earl Hines, Mary Lou Williams, and Ahmad Jamal, all claiming Pittsburgh as their birthplace. These pioneering artists laid the foundation for future generations of Black musicians in the city, who continue to push the boundaries of jazz, blues, and hip-hop.
I think mentorship is probably one of the most important things coming up as an artist. You can never, ever stop learning. I'm still taking voice lessons, still doing all of the stuff I can do to sound better, to be better, to show up better. So I think that's the forever journey. You should always have somebody in your corner telling you when you suck, or when you're but also somebody telling you man, you're really you're really doing it right now. The older generation of artists in Pittsburgh have influenced me in a number of ways. They've just shown me that you can be an artist, you can be a creative, and you can still have integrity, and you can still grab people as you climb. Even no matter where you are in your journey, there's always room to say, yo, I got this going on, and to connect somebody else. So they've shown me that, and I hope to be able to give back an inkling of what they've given me to some other crazy artists coming up.
I grew up in church, which was on the corner of Johnston Ave, which was right on a main drag in Hazelwood. So I really think that was like one of my biggest influences, was singing in church, singing around a lot of people who had really big voices, a lot of things to say in between singing, and I bring a lot of that into my artistry. Like, I'm always just talking in the middle of my songs, I'm doing spoken word, I'm kind of integrating it with poetry and just little things that you wouldn't typically expect in music. I think honestly just being in spaces that I want to occupy will help to support my artistry, and being bold in those spaces, which is not always easy. I would say the biggest social issue that I'm trying to address, that I want to address, is really mental health, socio-emotional health, just wellness overall, especially for, the Black community, giving people the space to know that there's always something that you can be working on. And it doesn't have to look like a super intense thing. It could look like just taking a break, resting, and listening to a song, writing a song, singing, crying in the car. We need these spaces to just breathe and to rest and to heal.
The love of music has grabbed me from a very young age, and just in terms of what I want to share with local Pittsburghers specifically.
When I was coming up, we had to teach ourselves everything. And we had to, like this during the Napster days, so like all the software and whatnot, you didn't have teachers that were readily available to teach you hip hop. I don't even think hip hop was being taught as a class, let alone production and whatnot. Very DIY and very sink or swim, therefore. So I didn't want the youth to be thrown to that, especially if their dreams and whatnot were connected to that.
We want to be able to use that power of music. And the reason for having a whole orchestra is to be able to bring in these multiple types of instrumentalists. We have singers, dancers, MCs, the instrumentalists, everybody together in this whole. That is what the vision of hip hop orchestra is supposed to be.
So just being able to teach a sense of literacy along with making your words your own, saying what you want to say.
I mostly create through photography, fashion, and filmmaking. Within the Black arts in Pittsburgh, I feel that my art offers a new perspective on how we see those around us and how we can be inspired by them. When I first started photography or fashion photography and styling through that, one of the main things that I focused on was really just beauty in general, how I see beauty, how Blackness is beauty.
So my initial influence with the photography in the film was with my great-grandfather. We used to do Polaroids, and he had a high-8 camera, so we used to play with those things. So that was my initial influence. And just learning about Black culture as a kid. So whether that's the Harlem Renaissance or the Black Power movement or civil rights, and all of the arts that surrounded that in terms of music. But if I'm envisioning a future, Black artists are being artists, and they're participating in this art world fully and completely. And it's not about Blackness. We're using other things to construct identity, to bring meaning to our lives beyond the color of our skin.
Paul Robeson said it best: artists are the gatekeepers of the truth, and I enjoy using my camera to tell that truth. The people, places, and the things, they make up what Pittsburgh is all about. Telling the truth through my art is very therapeutic for me. It heals me. If I am not creating, something's not right within me. And as creative artists, that is essentially what keeps us alive.
Today, Pittsburgh's Black arts community is as vibrant as ever, with a new generation of creatives carrying the torch. From the graffiti murals that adorn the city's walls to performances that electrify its stages, Black artists continue to shape Pittsburgh's cultural identity.
It has really opened up, and it's like really, it could be a Black Mecca for art in the country if we really really get together, because there are so much art here, is so many excellent artists from all genres that we should really be proud of ourselves.
Thank you.